you as a leader and your strengths and how you can turn those into strategies. Today, I want to talk specifically about if you're struggling with being overlooked at work. So you might find yourself like, well, I want to hold back because in meetings, I don't want to come across as being too pushy or aggressive, or maybe you're doing just a lot of hard work, but you're not really taking the time to be able to diagnose or document, I should say, what you're doing and your successes. So let's dive into that today, because I want to give you, by the end of this video today, if you're catching me live, also welcome, you will have 2 actionable strategies to increase your visibility and your influence so that you can transform your own leadership in your career from being invisible and overlooked to being influential and a sought-after strategic leader. Welcome. If this is the first time you're joining me, I'm Kim Reinmacher, the founder of Leadership Edge Academy, and I've helped countless women like you over the last 3.5 years transform their careers. With 20 years of experience in various leadership roles, I understand the challenges that you face and have the expertise to guide you to success. So let's turn your frustration into influence. Now, what you may or may not be aware of is there's a few specific mistakes that I see women making so often. And one of those is not speaking up in meetings. I've had clients tell me, well, I don't want to speak up in meetings, or I hold back with my ideas and my opinions because I don't want to come across as pushy or aggressive. Another mistake that I often see is not knowing their own achievements. So I do this oftentimes when I'm hosting a workshop or facilitating a live event. I love to ask the audience to come up with 3 things they're proud of. Now, surprisingly enough, for women, and I've done this with women that are in the top of their field, they are leaders within their companies, they are owning companies, they're leaders within their communities, and they look at each other going, oh my goodness, I don't know, I can't name 3 things that I'm proud of. So even though these women, and you were likely to, doing not like so much amazing work and you're working very hard, if you don't take the time to document your successes, your achievements, your results, then you're going to stare blankly when someone asks you, what are your results, what are your achievements, and what are you proud of? So one of the specific mistakes that happens is because you don't have that insight, you also can't share them. And the last common mistake, not by any means the absolute last, but the third one I'm going to share with you today, is you're avoiding high visibility projects because you have this fear of failure. So one of my clients has literally said that to me, like, I tend to stay away from those high profile projects because what if I fail and it reflects poorly on me? And as women, we do often, unfortunately, still have to deal with gender bias, which means that failure is often much more attributed to women and their abilities versus when men have a failure of a project. So what this is all causing, because when you're making these 3 mistakes, and just to summarize, you're not speaking up in meetings, you're not documenting or sharing your achievements, and you're avoiding high visibility projects, then what you're also likely experiencing is that you feel invisible during meetings. Like your contributions are just overlooked. Or you've shared an idea and no one has responded, but then a colleague shared the same idea 5 minutes later, and it's like the best thing since sliced bread. What's also happening for you is you're likely not getting any recognition for all of that hard work. I spoke to someone a number of weeks ago who was providing amazing results and achievements for our organization, but they weren't aware of it. So when it came time for the performance review, it was crickets. And she was actually said, well, her management and her leader and her bosses weren't aware of all of the things that she had done to lead her team and the results that she'd achieved. So she missed out on a salary increase. Not only that, she also got put onto a development plan, like needs development. So could you imagine all of that hard work that she had done for the past year wasn't seen, was completely overlooked because no one was aware of what she was achieving or the results that she was getting. And of course, not only does it lead to a lack of a salary raise at the end of that performance review, but you're going to miss out on important and key moments and opportunities to advance your career. Because oftentimes, not only do they not seen it or overlooked it, but they're not taking your ideas seriously in meetings. So, like I said, I've been there. I've navigated the corporate world for over 2 decades, moving from finance to project management to executive management. And there were times when my contributions were overlooked, despite how hard I worked, how many hours I put in. And trust me, there were days that started at 6 a.m. and probably ended at about 11, 12 o'clock at night. So I know how frustrating and disheartening this can be. But I just want you to consider for 1 minute, if you were at a crowded concert, in order to get to the front, you have to push through the crowd. No one notices how hard it took you worked in order to get inside that concert. But in order to make yourself seen and heard, you need to move forward. You need to push through the crowd to be seen. And in your career, it is no different, because you need to also actively make your presence, your achievements, your results known. Now, one of my clients, Sarah, has often felt overlooked despite all of her hard work. And listen, she had the results to back her up. But by simply documenting what she'd achieved and her results and sharing them not only with her manager and her leaders, but with her colleagues, but other leaders throughout the organization, she was getting the recognition that she deserved, but was also being tapped for new opportunities. Now, I'm going to share with you 2 strategies today, because there are several strategies inside my Leadership Accelerator, but I want to give you 2 of my favorite ways right now that you can start implementing today, and it will be able to increase your visibility within the next 7 days significantly. So the first one is all around developing and building your own personal brand. Like I said, one of those common mistakes is that we don't, as women, we've been taught to be humble. We don't want to brag. We don't want to come over as too much. And so we end up hiding our achievements, or just like, that's normal. No, we don't need to discuss that, right? So what you need to do when you're starting to build your personal brand is, first of all, identify your strengths and start to showcase them, and start to tell people about your achievements. Share them while you're at the coffee corner. Share them while you're in the elevator. Share them as team wins. But it's important to start creating a consistent drip, as I like to call it, throughout the organization of the great things you're doing. And yes, I know right now you might be getting like, ugh, Kim, I really don't want to be the type of person that's constantly bragging about myself. Well, here's the thing. I've got a really great resource for you. It's called the Boardroom Whisper Checklist, and I've also created a training with it. So if you are interested in that, comment Boardroom or DM me Boardroom, and I will give you access to that completely complimentary. But it'll show you some really great ways to naturally already take what you've achieved, incorporate it into a conversation, so that it showcases your authority, your expertise, and builds your credibility throughout the organization without you having to feel all braggadocious about it. So when it comes to your personal brand, this is the thing that you want people to know you by. What are people going to be talking about you? What are they saying about you when you're not in the room? And your personal brand is your responsibility. This is your responsibility as a leader. It helps you with a strong personal brand. Not only does it help you increase the opportunities that come your way, but with a strong personal brand around getting results, being a person who achieves things, being a person who has strategic vision and ideas and can execute them. That makes you a powerful combination in the organization. And guess what? Everybody wants that type of person on their team. So it is time to let go of not speaking up because you're not sure how your ideas are going to be received, or not sharing your achievements because I don't want to come across as being too much, or I don't want to brag. because that is exactly what is keeping you stuck right now. So that is step one, is to build your personal brand, right? Identify your strengths, showcase them. Identify your achievements, document them, and promote your achievements. Rip it out through the organization. And again, I have a free resource for you, which is the Boardroom Whisper checklist. Plus, there's a training coming with it. So if that's interest of you, DM me Boardroom or comment Boardroom below the video, and I will make sure you get that. Now, strategy number two, when it comes to going from being invisible into influential, is you have to start speaking up in meetings. I know, no more hiding out in the corner. No more thinking, oh, I'll wait until that perfect moment to speak up. Oh, you know what? If they wanted my opinion, they'll ask me. Or even, and I've done this myself, and I've heard so many women that do it, you've shared your idea, so you have spoken, you've done the first step of it, you spoke up a meeting, but no one heard you, and the next thing that happened is someone else took credit for it, and you're like, well, shit, I just shared that idea. Why am I not getting credit for that? So when you're speaking up, I want you to ensure that you're contributing to the discussion. How do you do this? You need to prepare your points in advance. Yes, I get it. You might have heard this umpteen times before, but the amount of time that you don't prepare, because let's be honest, your schedule might be packed with back-to-back meetings all day. Where are you going to get a chance to prepare? Well, you're going to choose strategically which meetings are going to be key meetings that will increase your visibility and that have the people in the room that you need to make sure that you are top of mind with. And for those meetings specifically, so I'm not even talking about every single meeting all day, but for those meetings specifically, you're going to start looking at the agenda and making points as to what is it that I want to bring in. And again, you want to find some really great ways to do that and do it naturally, more within, so that it aligns more with your own leadership style or your own way of communicating. Then my Boardroom Whisper checklist and training are for you. That I lay that out for you in that as well. So just again, DM me or comment Boardroom and I'll get that to you. Now here's the thing. I had clients, one of my clients started documenting her achievements. First off, she was amazed how many achievements and results that she had. And not only did she start sharing them with her manager, but she started sharing them wider in the organization, because now she had something that she could talk about when she ran into a leader at the coffee machine, or when she was in a meeting with other leaders. She could start talking and using her expertise, weaving it into the conversation, and then sharing her ideas. So that led to recognition, of like, hey, you know your stuff, you've got the expertise. So she was being sought out for that expertise, but also being recognized as a leader, which led to a promotion. So could you imagine how quickly this could work for you if you simply started taking action today? Now, I want you to think of your career like a lighthouse, right? You might be working incredibly hard and as a lighthouse, if you're the lighthouse in this example, right? You're shining brightly. But as long as that light is obstructed, no one is going to be able to see it. So my goal for you is to help you remove those obstructions so that everyone can start seeing how awesome and brilliant you are as a leader. Because if I know anything, and you're anything like me or my clients that I work with, we are all high achievers, high performers. We love a challenge. We dig our teeth in it and we get things done. We get results. But nothing is more disheartening when those results go unnoticed and overlooked, and you're watching junior colleagues pass you by and get promoted up and above you. So I have a unique opportunity I also want to share with you today. So if you're ready to transform your career from being invisible to being influential, I want you to join my From Strength to Strategy workshop. Now, it is going to be live and in person here in the Netherlands on Friday. So if you want to get in on that, I want you to DM me strengths, and I'm going to get you the details for that. But in this workshop, we're going to dive deep into strategies to amplify your voice and your presence. We're going to figure out, hey, what are your strengths? What is the unique thing about you? And how do we translate that into a leadership style that not only empowers you, but that is going to fuel your career growth and your effectiveness moving forward. It is how you can build a powerful personal brand and how you can take on projects that are going to showcase your own strengths. Now, again, it is going to be in person on this Friday, so Friday, June 28th, or I am doing it in a two-part live online session next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, Tuesday and Wednesday. You can get in on that as well. So if you are interested in that, you can DM me or comment below strengths, and I will get those details. Now, I'm going to encourage you here, don't wait until another year passes you by without the recognition you deserve. I want you to sign up today for that, either for the workshop, which is fantastic. I'm so excited about this one, or at least DM me Boardroom so you can get the checklist and get started there. Because if you sign up today, you can start leading with confidence. And imagine walking into work tomorrow, next week, next month, knowing that your contributions will be seen and valued and not being overlooked. Don't let another performance review come around with you getting, oh, you did all right, but you weren't outstanding, and you didn't have anything unique to support you, and you kind of did okay, but there's no new opportunities coming your way. So this workshop, like I said, the workshop is going to start on Friday. That is going to be live and in person, or you can join the online workshop, which is going to be next week, Tuesday and Wednesday. Spots are limited, so don't wait too long to grab your spot today. Thanks so much for listening. So just to recap really quickly today, we've been talking about what if you're being overlooked or you're struggling with being overlooked at work. How can you go from being invisible to influential? Now, my two favorite ways that I was sharing today from inside my Leadership Accelerator. One of them is to build your personal brand, right? Identify your strengths and showcase them. And number two, start speaking up in meetings and contribute to the discussion, showcasing both your expertise, but also building your credibility. And finally, again, you have the opportunity and the possibility to join me in my Strengths to Strategy workshop happening on Friday or online next week, Tuesday and Wednesday. So look forward to seeing you. If you have any questions, my DMs are always open. I get lots of questions in my DMs throughout the week. So if you've got other questions, I love to hear them, and I'm happy to help you in my DMs. We'll talk to you.